right, everyone. This is Kevin Liu. We are Project Golden Gate. We're back. We are back in the studio. Just so people remember what we're about. We are a group that we seek to prevent drug overdose by building awareness and transforming the systemic barriers that perpetuate drug addiction. We will reach the hearts and souls of the general public by demanding respect and empowering ourselves to change the landscape of our community. So today we have two guests, and this is for our oral history project. We're really trying to highlight stories and capture people's experiences around having used or currently using drugs, are impacted by addiction, or have experienced houselessness. So this is both a means for people to document their stories, and we hope that in this process of talking about their experiences, they're able to heal in certain ways too. So today we have two guests, like I was saying, Adam Lucero, who's been on this recording project, as well as Yolanda, who's been a long time now member of our group and has been coming to our meetings and has really been involved in Project Golden Gate. So Adam, if you want to introduce yourself.
My name is Adam Lucero.
Take it away, man.
My name is Adam Lucero. I come from Arcadia, California. And Yolanda?
Hi, I'm Yolanda. And I've been sent here on court commitment. And ever since then, I stayed. I completed my program.
Where are you from, Yolanda?
I'm from Kansas City.
Yeah, cool.
But I lived in Stockton for 30 years, which I experienced a lot of drug addiction. But my theme would be footsteps in the dark, because I was a street hooker.
Yeah.
I was on crack cocaine. And a lot of things that I was exposed to in Stockton I never heard of until I come to San Francisco. I want to thank San Francisco for its resources, because it really helps those that are lost and turned out. But when I first got here, I never heard the word homelessness. So what is that? What does that mean? And so my instructor at Walden House told me, "Did you pay rent?" I said, "No." "Did you have a job?" I said, "No." "Then how was you able to live?" I said, "Oh, it was like four of us, and we would get together and we find some old men and buy him groceries, and we stay at his house until he get tired of us and put us out." So we went like that for a good 5 years. We went from house to house, all four of us. When one put us out, we tell the other one, "It's time for you to find us someplace to stay." And that's how we lived for 5 years.
Why would you get put out?
You know, the old man get tired of us.
Yeah.
Or you want to give him favors, we didn't want to give him no favors.
Oh, damn. Rolling them.
So his team said, "Oh, y'all got to go." So, okay, we leaving.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun anyway. We didn't care.
Yeah.
Something to do.
Yeah.
But San Francisco made me aware of what we was doing wrong. Me and my buddies, we didn't know what homelessness was. And when they told me what homeless was, I said, "What?" I called my friend and said, "Girl, we homeless." She said, "What? Don't call here with that AA shit." I said, "Well, I didn't know we was homeless. They didn't either.
Yeah.
We never heard of the word." But anyway, time went on. I became aware of it. And what I feel hurt more than anything was there wasn't enough resources or outlets for people that was on drugs that didn't want to do it no more. And that stagnated a lot of people that probably would have been sober if there was the resources to show them how to do it. There wasn't none. Either you was an addict or you wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you was, you did what you could do every day. My life was just getting high, turning dates, getting high, turning dates.
Yeah.
I lived like that for 20 years.
Yeah.
Not knowing it was wrong, not knowing if it was right. It was just something to do, really. It was just something to do. And I was having fun. Me and my friends, and we'd talk about stuff. Then we go to jail. We'd talk about it all through the night. We used to call them trick stories, and we just talk about this one or that one. And there was nothing to us, and there wasn't nothing to go to jail. So, oh man, they're going to let us out. Next day they would, and we'd be back at it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
But now that I grew up, that was a hell of a life. But at the time, it was just fun.
Yeah.
I feel cities need to be more informed on how to help citizens do better if they want to do better.
Yeah.
It's not out there. They don't They don't care. If you don't care, they don't care. But what if you don't care because you don't know no better?
Yeah.
You don't know the outlets to get better. And you just be stuck.
Yeah.
I was stuck. Me and my friends, we were just stuck. We didn't know better. Nor was there outlets to do any better. So we just hung out in the streets.
Yeah.
For 20 years, I was in the streets. I remember when I went home to my grandmother, I told her, I said, I was on drugs, and I was a hooker, and I was just living in the streets. And she couldn't believe it. You know how old people go with the Bible and tell you, we're going to read this baby and read that baby, we're going to be better.
Yeah.
But after talking to my grandmother, and she told me some little story, I said, oh, you know what? I ain't going to do drugs no more. And that was over 20 years ago, and I haven't done any more since then.
Yeah.
But what if I didn't have a grandmother to go to?
Yeah.
Somebody that I respected and lived up to. I would have been still out there hooking and smoking crack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got jumped on. I did a lot of things. But I had to survive in the street. I didn't have nobody. I didn't have no man. I didn't have no kids. I'm just me.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a life. And then when they sent me to court, they didn't do shit. All they said, you got a program or you going to pen. Which one you going to do? Take your ass to San Francisco. I've never been to San Francisco. Only time I ever heard of San Francisco was the streets of San Francisco when I was a kid.
Yeah, the show.
Yeah, that show. And I
Yeah.
said, where's San Francisco at?
Streets of San Francisco, dope ass show, man.
Yeah, that's all I knew
Yeah.
about San Francisco. And I went to this shelter and I asked this guy, how do you get to San Francisco? Because I had like 2 days to get in or I was going to the pen. I said, oh no, we got to find a way. So I drove up here and I went to, what they call it?
Walden House.
They got this place you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they told me I couldn't be a participant in the program unless I was here for 30 days. I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to be here for 30 days. I ain't from here.
Yeah.
But they told me about going to a shelter. I didn't know what a shelter was. What's a shelter?
Yeah.
So I went to the shelter for 30 days and then they let me in. And
Yeah.
I've been cool ever since.
Yeah.
I live a better life,
Yeah.
but I still do bad. But I ain't smoking no more. So
Yeah.
I'm a step up from where I was at.
Yeah.
But I ain't no saint. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But I'm doing better than I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still sober.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So what do you attribute some of that stuff to? What do you attribute your success thus far to?
What I attribute this far to?
Yeah. It
Oh.
wasn't the courts because all they did is give you a choice. Either
Yeah.
door 1 or door 2 or curtain number 1 or curtain number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't much of a choice.
No, but that was the best choice they was gonna give me.
Yes, they were. So, but you've had to make those choices moving forward, right? So you've had to make some good choices. And like you said, you're not an angel, but you're still with us today.
Yeah.
So what do you attribute you being with us today for?
You
To
get tired of being tired. And,
Yep.
and it's a self decision. I don't care what you do, what program you go to, where you live. It's a self decision to quit using drugs
Yeah.
and change your life. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
It's just a self decision.
it is.
Come to a realization. This is it.
Did you have to hit rock bottom?
Yeah, I had to.
You had to.
Had to.
And you lost a lot of people in your life.
Yeah, this is how I go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't wake up and then if somebody died, oh, that's sad. And then I go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, till you get tired of being tired. It's
What would you want to be telling somebody that would help them moving forward?
First, I tell them to pray and try to get an insight of what they want in their life and how would they want to live if it was their choice. And you tell them try to steer toward that goal of living the way you would want to live. And if you keep on trying at it, it'll hit you one day.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come to you, and after that you go forward.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
And then it's just one step in front of the other.
yeah,
Yeah.
and time.
And time, a lot of time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
You gotta get used to. You gotta get used to the new way of life. You know.
Yeah, you gotta want to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, don't fight it no more. This is it.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, you just,
Like a lot of it's weird because like think about like if you could like you ask yourself why is it that I keep on making the same mistake over and over and over and over again if you know it's wrong for you, right? But then it's like one of those things where like it's not that it's easier, it's that Because like when does the party stop? You know, that's the question. Like if it's fun, you're out in the streets and you're hamming it up and all this type of stuff, it's fun. But when does it not become fun? You know, like it's one of those things where it's like your tolerance, your inner tolerance for like accepting like shitty situations has to like, you know, that's what sucks about that life is like you keep on escalating your own tolerance to a shitty situation. You know, like like if it's
You
like
keep upping your own behaviors.
no, like you so like oh so like somebody falls like your place to sleep tonight told you to fuck off, right? Like you know you can you get to tolerate that, like you get that becomes a numb, like sort of like a numb feeling. You know, most people be like, shit, he just kicked me out, oh my god. But like getting kicked out over and over and over again, like you know, like you just sort of get to tolerate that whole you know, like you get used to it, like you know, like you sort of like
You built up a resilience to things you shouldn't.
yeah, you know. And then it's like one of those things where like you know you end up like you know I was cool
But how does doesn't that give you a predisposition going into situations? So in other words, when you go into things, are you a little bit less open-minded
open-minded about what?
about anything? So let's say, hey, Adam, you come over and crash out at my place for the next week or two. You'd be like, oh man, the last time I did that dude freaked out on me and told me to get the F out. Or
Oh, I see. I did the thing where I fucking hooked, but I mean I did the thing where like I basically the way that I hooked was I never slept at any of the because it's different for dudes than it is for females. You know, like men don't get as much like, and it's not like a sexist thing. It's just more or less like a men are like not gonna put up with men like you know like sitting there like you know like they're like they won't give you the money. Like when it comes to dudes, they won't give you the money up front. Like they'll wait until you're done and then they'll give you the money, you know, and then they might say, all right, you're worth half, and then they'll give you half, you know, some shit like that. You know, like you get fucked over way hard, bro. Like, you know, and so like I never got the chance or like the because if you're gonna sleep at somebody's house, you're basically like saying like that you're just gonna be like basically their slave as a dude.
right
You
now,
know?
I get it.
It's sort of
I
fucked up.
guess what I'm saying is that if you've been rejected in different parts of your life, like you were just you were using an example of being kicked out of someone, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm used to that. I'll just normally that would be so detrimental to someone
Yeah.
to be thrown on the street, but you're like, I've done this a million times. This is just a Tuesday.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me, right?
yeah.
And so do you go into situations now where you're starting to think, okay, I've had this history with different things, with
Yeah.
people rejecting me, people treating me with stigma,
Yeah.
with being rejected in programs
Yeah.
or funding or
Yeah.
whatever. Is it hard to be optimistic and go into a situation positive and open-minded, or is it hard for you to do that?
Well, like
And both of you, that
yeah,
goes to both.
yeah. Well, like I
Be
mean,
open minded with stipulations.
yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of predisposition to I've been screwed over before.
Oh man, dude. No, I once was let on for 3 days straight, dude, on a job where like the dude was like, I'll give you $30,000 at the end of this, bro. And then he made me piss into a shoe. He made me do all this weird shit, right? And then at the end of it, he gave me $60 and kicked me out.
I'd have whooped his ass.
Dude, but then he was like I'm a fucking food inspector. He was a food inspector for the city, right? He's like, I'm a food inspector. He's like, dude, what do you think? I have fucking $30,000. I'm a food inspector. He told me that he had millions of dollars, right? And he lived in a place where it was worth millions of dollars, right? So I'm like, he just had me going, you know, like I've been up for a couple of days, so like, you know, like I was like, you know, like that. And then basically he was like, dude, get the fuck out of here, right? And he locked the door, right? And he threw the pissy shoes at me, right? Then he locked the door. And I was pounding on this guy's door, but then it's like the second the cops show up, what are you going to say to them?
Right.
You know, how are you going to explain that? They have laws against that now, but I mean, back then there's no way that you could. Now I could take him to court. Now, because it's a verbal agreement and there's laws that they've enacted to protect people in that position because people have been doing that so much. But I mean, literally, you know, I got fucked with I basically got held, like, you know, for 3 days, you know, you're doing shit that you didn't want to, you know, because like I love women, you know, like, so like I don't like I did the gay for pay thing because it's like that's what I was brought up to when I was a kid, you know, like when I was a kid they got me like on that shit, you know. So it's like one of those things where like, that was like one of the things where like, and like really what happened was that I was 12 years old and I wanted a carton of cigarettes, right? So I was like, how am I gonna get a carton of cigarettes, right? I'll just trick some old man and give me a carton of cigarettes. You know, like, you know, I'll be like, hi, I'm 12. Does anybody want to fucking date or whatever like that? Give me a carton of cigarettes and I'll show up. You know, like that type of thing, right? And so then, you know, but then when you get somebody that like really is like, when you make that connection with the person that's really the wrong person to connect with, you know, who really knows how to take a 12-year-old and like fucking like, you know, groom them to be like, you know, hijack their sexuality and then make it like, you know, like that type of shit. It fucks with a kid's head, bro. You know,
Sure.
like, and then basically like, you know, and then it was like this weird thing where like, you know, yeah, like that's how I got into the whole thing, you know, where it's sort of like that, you know, like I always fell back on that whenever I needed money, whenever I needed anything.
It was a
Something you knew how to do.
safety net
Yeah.
of sorts.
Yeah.
Like
But
yeah.
yeah.
I'm wondering, like, did it re-traumatize you, or was it just something you knew how to do, and like it was just something that you could do and you can make money and it was fine and whatever?
I thought it was. He taught it the way he explained it to me. I thought it was okay, you know, the way he explained it to me, right? But he was explaining to me because this was in L.A., so it was about he was a cinematographer, so he was telling me that this is what people do to get famous, right? And so he was basically grooming me in this fucking like sort of like thing where like I was there like 3 times a week with 3 different people a week, and he would film it, and it was all this weird shit, right? You know, then like what happened was I had a girlfriend when I was 15, and I told her about it, and she like never had sex with me ever again. She was like, that's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Get the fuck out of my life, you know, that type of thing. And I never talked to her again. That's when I was like, there's something weird, right? And I confronted him about it, and then he was like, dude, you came here on your own, man. Like, I didn't fucking force you to come here. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know.
Well, yeah, they
you know,
flipped the tables.
yeah.
I know, but that's interesting. But I guess I'm wondering about like later on, like when you like you know you did it for money, like you were used to it. So like, what was that like?
So then that's been my life story. Is always like thinking that was like, because you always told me that the future was gonna be people just being like free love and shit like that. But then it's like not, you know, like you can't tell a woman that you've done gay shit for pay like that and have them like respect you like after that, or have them even like look at you sexually, you know, most of them, because it's a health thing, you know. It's not like anything else. It's like a health thing. Like, and I understand that they have to protect their bodies and all this type of shit, and they think they associate it, you know, gay sex with like, you know, like fucking disease and all this type of fucked up shit. And I ended up getting that disease anyway, so it's sort of like fucked up. But I mean, like the thing is that, the way it comes down to me is that like, yeah, it sort of re-traumatized me because it made me wonder why I was so comfortable with like demeaning myself like that. But then at the same time, it's like Yolanda said, it's like one of those things where like that's all you know, and then you sort of just like you don't care about what anybody else tells you. You know, like they'll tell you like that's fucking wrong, get the fuck out of it and shit like that. But then you're like, dude, but if it's like if you don't have any money, if you're dead broke, like what are your options today? You know, like what have been your options for the past 30 years? You know, like really, like if you don't have if you get a job, you have 2 weeks until you get paid the first time. And in fact, the first time you get a job, it's usually 3 weeks or 4 weeks because you catch it on the weird time of the pay period.
So it's almost like a punishment. It's like, wow, I could have just had some instantaneous gratification and have money in my hand.
You can have cash like that, you know, like if you play it right, you can have a cash and a place, you know, like, or you can have I just got used to sleeping on the bus because I was just like not. Because like like dudes aren't cool like that, you know.
Now let me ask,
and I don't have the looks like that either. So
now, does any of that resonate with you, Yolanda? I mean,
yeah, that's how I go.
it does how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of it not sound right to what?
No,
Because you're in the same situation, but you're male and female.
Let me tell you, I can't tell you his name, but I know, but I ain't gonna say his name. And he gave me $3,000 to take an egg. He bent over the toilet and I had to shoot him. I had to throw that egg.
Up his keister.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
I hope you're a good shot.
Yeah, it was.
yeah.
And I'm hoping it's hard boiled.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
moving forward.
No wait, but that's
But that's weird, right?
no, but
that's normal.
He
was a Hollywood producer, and I said, "Oh, you lying." But sure enough, he was who he said he was.
Yeah, well, okay, we're not going to use any names,
No,
but you know, we were just talking about Harvey. Or I was talking about Harvey earlier, and so we know it's in Hollywood. We know that people use their position as power, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're just a younger
I was a child
boy
actor. Yeah.
with an older man. It's the power position there.
Yeah.
So.
It's the access, or like not even the access. It's the access to cash. I never got paid for that shit. See, that was the thing. I saw money exchanged with this guy, but I never thought of it like that. until this lady fucking fucked me off, and then I was like, all of it clicked in my head like this motherfucker's been using me, bro. And then I went to confront him about it, and he was like, you came here on your own, like, you know, like that, and that fucked my head up so bad, because then I was like, he was telling me I was gonna move forward, I was gonna move up, like this is what people do. And so that's what the whole training thing was all about, you know. It was like he's like training me to be like this fucking like this ultimate like sex bot or whatever the fuck like that, right? And to a kid who's been like hijacked like that could seem sort of cool, like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to do like that, you know. Brad Pitt does that shit, you know. Tom Cruise does that shit, which we all know that they do. But I mean, but they don't want to say that. Like the Harvey Weinstein thing, the main thing that you didn't hear about was all the men, you know,
Right.
because that motherfucker fucked both men and women, bro. Like, you know, like, and all the men that didn't want to fucking, because it's every fucking big star, you know, every big star. If you're not a child of somebody famous, bro, you had to do something, you know. And that's just the way they work, because like a lot of it has to do with like their religious leanings, you know, like the way that they lean on sexual forces and magic and shit like that. I know it sounds crazy, but they believe in it. And if they believe in it, that's usually what they do. Is they that's why the big pedophilia thing is, because they're harvesting children's, like, you know, like basically, if you can live off somebody's innocence, you know, if you can live off somebody's innocence, and you knew that would make you live a little longer. And
Why
you're
not?
well, yeah, and you're in that position.
Well, that's truly evil.
It's truly evil, bro. I mean,
Do it.
So, like, Yolanda, I guess the same question is posed to you. So, you guys have made the pilgrimage here from Kansas City and Anaheim to the city.
Arcadia. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Arcadia.
Yeah.
So then, what helped you get on the right track, Adam, and find the resources you needed to get healthy?
I got HIV.
It was a wake up call.
No, it was like I got HIV, and then I got deathly ill. And then what happened was that I didn't know about any of that type of shit, that there was services for anybody like that. And so like I basically got the shit, and I was sick for like a month or whatever, like, you know, like bleeding like out of every orifice for like a while. And then like basically what happened was that it was coming to a bad point. And then like I was working at the drug users union, and one of the nurses there was like, dude, you don't have housing? And I was like, what? She's like, you have HIV? I'm like, oh my God, I can get you and then when you get HIV, they give you a voucher for a week stay in a hotel.
Right.
And then they'd say we'll give you $1,200 towards any type of place you want to move into, right?
Right.
But if you're homeless and shit like that, you don't really have any way of like, you know, figuring that whole thing out. So like I just remained homeless for a little while. I was working at the drug users union, and then she was like, dude, I can get you a house right now, dude. And then it was COVID, right? So then they put me in a COVID hotel, and that's what got me on the right track. But I still use, so like, I mean, I'm still actively using speed and shit like that. But it's like one of the things where it's like
but you're conscious and aware of what you're doing to yourself now versus
I was back then. The thing is that the way I got
but you thought it was part of the norm because of the way he was grooming you.
No, see, I stopped talking to that guy when I was 15.
Okay.
Yeah, the last time I saw that guy, I was 18, and I extorted him for $3,000, and I stole everything out of his house, and then I set his house on fire. And then but that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that, because that didn't help me. That just made me more empty inside, you know.
But it sounds like what at least started you on this process of recovery, I guess. Is that what we're calling it?
I mean, equilibrium, I guess. I don't know.
But it was basically someone opening doors to a resource to get you.
It was the city, man. It was the city. Literally, somebody in the city was like, "Hey, I see you have a problem with staying with a house,
and I can help you.
And I know exactly what to do to get you a house." And then at the time when they gave me the blood test to make sure that I could get into the house, because they got me a house with a bathroom. That was the main thing that I was like, dude, I'm not going in any place without a bathroom, dude, because I got ulcerative colitis from that shit. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna sit there and like, you know. And so then they were like, okay, all right, well, we'll figure that out. And so they had to fudge the number a little bit on my viral load at the time to make it so that I could get the place with the bathroom. But she did that, you know.
Is that something you hear regularly, Kevin, when people come in to see you? I mean, is it that I've been turned away at every door, or I see resources but I don't know how to get at them, or?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some amount of that. what Adam's talking about, like the city helping him in that way, though, I don't hear it like
Enough.
that, for enough people.
Yeah.
Right.
But, who's also making that decision, right? Like,
Yeah.
it depends on the person. It's like, depends on the day. Depends on if you present to them in a certain way and they're open-minded enough to help you.
And probably the person that Adam was dealing with was a grunt in the system. It was somebody on the front lines that was actually working a 9-to-5 job for a minimum amount of wage.
Yeah.
But they said, hey, here's a person that can actually utilize these services.
Yeah.
And he's right here in front of me, and I can actually affect change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, so you were in Kansas City? Were you ever homeless in Kansas City?
Hmm?
Were you ever homeless in Kansas City?
I was born and raised in Kansas City,
Were you?
but I always wanted to come to California. So I left home to come to California. I went to LA first.
LA was fucked up, huh?
Yeah.
LA was hella fucked up.
Oh, freaks. Oh,
Yeah,
freaks.
yeah. The LA's fucked up. LA's a fucked up time because you can't couch surf in LA. You can't couch surf in LA if you don't have a car and you don't have a job. You're basically living at somebody's house and eating their food, and so they won't let you. They won't let you just couch surf for a night. So they just don't let you in. Unless you serve a purpose, bro. Like you have to serve a serious purpose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my purpose when I first come to Los Angeles was my aunt always wanted a girl
Yeah.
because she had 2 boys. So that's the only reason why I was able to stay there and eat their food.
Yeah.
But then I got tired of that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I ain't doing nothing what you tell me to do. So let me go.
Yeah.
So I just went out the door and didn't look back.
You left from LA and then you came here?
No, I went from L.A. to Stockton.
Stockton.
I stayed there 30 years. Then I came here. Court ordered. I
bro.
would have never came here. Never.
Damn.
If I wasn't court ordered.
Why? So wait, how did they court? Oh, from the penitentiary or
No,
get into
I
a program?
Yeah, I got caught with a half a key of coke.
Damn.
And it was either go to the pen
Yeah.
or go to the program.
Yeah.
Because I was at a program in Stockton,
Yeah.
but I was selling dope out the window.
Yeah.
And when the ladies, the workers, see me throwing stuff out the window, and
Yeah.
they throw stuff back,
Damn.
So they put me out. Said, you got one more chance.
Damn.
Go to San Francisco and get a Walden House. I went to Delancey Street, but they wouldn't help me because my leg doesn't bend.
Oh shit.
So I
Yeah,
had
because
to
you have to
go-
work at Delancey
Yeah,
Street.
so I had to go
Yeah.
to Walden House.
Yeah, Delancey Street. I heard a
They
bunch.
really do have you scraping with toothbrushes.
Yeah.
I seen it when I went there. Look at this shit.
Yeah, dude.
Oh hell no, I can't be here.
Yeah, dude. They make you work
This ain't
hard,
gonna
bro.
work.
They
This
make
ain't
you
gonna
work on that one, dude. I know a guy who graduated that. Yeah, but dude, he was like,
Therapy.
yeah, he was like, it was fucking hard work, dude.
It was.
Yeah, dude.
They scream at you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, fucking Walden House. So, did you go to the one off Hate?
No, I went to the one. Where did I go to? The one up on the hill, like a castle.
Yeah, that's the one off Hate, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there for.
By the park, right?
Yeah, by the park.
Yeah. It's scary, dude. It's
Yeah.
like dark and scary and shit like that.
Yeah, I went to
Walden
that one
houses?
first.
Yeah, dude.
Inside?
And they have the
How's that helpful for people? It's
Wait.
not.
What? What?
Like dark and scary, like place for you to like.
Like when you
know.
walk up to it, it looks like you're walking up to
treatment.
Dracula's castle, bro.
Yeah, it does.
But like,
Oh, but like,
The castle.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, was it helpful for you, Yolanda? Like to
call
go
it the
there?
castle.
Yeah. To go to the castle where it's
Yeah, when I
where
first
it's
went
dark
there,
and
I said, the castle. What is
Yeah.
this? But if you stand back, it looks like that. Then you're up on the hill.
I
there's
see,
a
I see.
park, and
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
mess.
Dude,
It's a
and
mess.
They have a place called the grazing area in the bottom in the basement.
did it help you though? No,
Did it help me?
somewhat.
Only thing it helped me was I didn't know what homelessness was.
Whoa.
Oh, so-
and so it's just some terminology.
Yeah, and I got exposed to it there.
And you went through the program though,
Yeah, I went to the program.
Yeah.
I graduated.
and did you feel better afterwards, or was it just like, okay?
No, I'm just lying.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
okay.
graduated a program. What was the requirements of that program? Just to be there and do the time
You'd be sober.
and be
you
sober.
Participate in the program. Participate in the activities of the program.
Yeah.
But you don't think you netted
Yeah, I
any
mean,
information, any nothing, nothing.
Only that I was homeless.
From Walden House, dude. Walden House is a fucked up program, dude. Like it's run by criminals, bro.
Well, and then
Yeah.
so I
It's
wonder
literally-
why some of these programs get money and others don't.
Because
I see
criminals-
you guys
Walden House
constantly
got a
out
lot of
doing
money.
there.
It's
But
Health
the
Right
employees
360
were
too.
stealing.
Yeah. They're criminals. The people that run that place are serious criminals, bro.
Right, and so
And so they're smart, and so that's how they lock it down. They get their little game and they lock it down.
The original director killed himself because they exposed him for the fraud. Instead of going to jail, he killed himself.
Yeah, so that's when the city needs to come in, or when grant people come in
Yeah.
and say, we're not extending your grant,
Yeah.
we're not giving you enough.
I think they're. I don't know. My impression is that they're still one of the most well-renowned, like recovery sort of like programs.
They write their own narrative, bro.
Yeah.
They write everything that you hear about
So
them.
what Paul's
is written
saying
by
is
them.
like there hasn't been some other force to check their work. You know.
Well, no, like the
Well,
thing
maybe
is,
there has.
Well,
been.
and how do they get their funding? Is it something that, are they a corp? Are they actually making money? Are they getting funding from the county, city, or state? Or
Yeah,
feds?
I think so.
they get it from the city and the
Well,
state.
then
And
somebody
shit.
needs to go in and do an audit.
They
Because
done that.
apparently
They-
someone's committed suicide because of getting caught in something you said, and I've heard at least 2 people at this table alone,
Yeah.
which is 50%
Yeah.
of in this room, that says this is a lousy program, and I tend to believe you guys
Yeah.
on what's a lousy program, because me and Kevin are on the other side of the table,
Yeah.
or on the other side of the program.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's places that doesn't need to go on, that doesn't need to exist. We need more opportunities like what you guys do at Project Golden Gate to
Yeah.
align people with their specific needs,
Yeah.
and actually listen to their clients, because you guys have, everybody is in the same boat, but everybody's situation's so different. And so trying to navigate through the system, I'm just so glad that you guys have a director like Kevin that's doing this.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that you have these community members that are supportive of one another,
Yeah.
and that you're doing community outreach, you're doing the talent shows, you're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the scary place up on the hill.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you,
Walden
Paul.
House is like the one place where, like, have you ever passed out drunk on the street and woken up at the sobering station?
Never do what?
Where if you pass out drunk on the street, they have a suite. They go around, they find people who pass out drunk on the street.
It's called a sobering center.
Yeah, sobering center. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
put you in a bed, and then when you wake up, you're in a bed full of other people where there are other drunks that pass out on the street that day. You know?
Yeah, I've seen
But they don't
that.
provide
Yeah.
you with housing necessarily.
No, they don't
right?
provide you with nothing. No, they give you a
they
couple.
Just give you a cot.
They
They-
give
yeah.
you enough time to recover, or to come out of your
Your
stupor,
stupor, and they give you
whatever,
a
and
cup
then
of
on your way.
lime Gatorade, and then they tell you get the fuck up and leave. But if you fuck up like really bad, bro, like, because I fucked up really bad. I was working at Fog City Diner as a maitre d. Yeah, as a maitre d, and basically what happened was that I passed out drunk on the job, dude. I'm doing the thing, right? And my manager was like, "Here, this is what it looked like. I don't want to tell you, but it's like name, and then and I passed out on the job, and then, so they didn't know what to do, so they called the paramedics. The paramedics took me there. I woke up at Walden House, bro. I was so fucked up. I woke up at Walden House, and so then that's when they automatically just put you into the system. You might not even need to go into the system, but they'll put you in the system because they're gonna make the cash off of you, bro. And so then that's where it's like, so I got thrust into that system even though I had a job and I had to leave and shit like that. And it's like one of those things where like that place is fucking scary, bro. Like there's 2 people died when I was there, bro. It was like, you know, one of them was beaten to death, bro. Like they beat a guy to death, bro. It's like it's fucking terrifying, bro. But I mean, they have this place in the basement called the grazing area, you know, where they put out the cherries. They'll just take canned cherries, and they'll just dump it into a big hotel pan, and they'll just leave it out in the open. And then you go and you take, you know, it's crazy, man.
For what?
Huh?
Like why? What was the
For
purpose?
grazing, so in between meals.
Like snacks.
Yeah, but
Why
it's just
grazing.
It's just
It's grazing.
it's called grazing
That's
because
kinda
we're
weird.
cattle. You get it?
They actually call it that.
They call it graze. Yeah, they call it They call it
Whoa.
grazing.
That's
time.
pretty paternalistic
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
weird.
Treated
And
like dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like grazing. You know, and then like, you know, and then the people they put like absolute insane people right next to normal people, bro. Like we're talking about people that are like taking their shit and rubbing it all over the walls, bro. They'll just be like cool with it until they start doing that. You know what I'm saying? They'll be cool. They'll know that guy's acting erratic. They'll know that guy's acting a fool, and they'll just be like, until he does something that's gonna make us like, you know, it's crazy, man.
all right.
You know?
That's because the governor closed all those mental institutions.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah.
hands down to Reagan, him and his wife.
Yeah.
Reagan,
She was
Ronald
running
Reagan.
a lot of those mental institutions.
Yeah.
She was getting kickback.
Yeah.
And then when they closed them, they had nowhere to put them, so they just let them out on the streets. If you go out in front of your building,
Yeah.
and I bet you 1 out of 5 has mental problems.
Serious mental
Period.
problems.
Serious mental problems.
Yeah.
But he has nowhere to go,
Yeah.
and he won't. They give him a place to stay, but he won't stay there.
Yeah.
So he's back out in the street. But
Or he can't
Yeah.
stay there. Another problem is that the interpersonal conflict, like when
yeah,
they just start a fight,
it's crazy. It's sad.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's
Yeah,
the answer to some of these questions?
Yeah, like
Some of
Yolanda. Yeah, like to kind of piggyback off of what
Well, you
Paul's
know,
asking, but like, how do
well,
you?
you
Because you're
can't-
out there a lot and you see sort of their struggles.
Yeah.
How do you kind of maintain sort of
You just
their
hope they
level of
don't-
functioning
you
or
just
whatever?
Hope
it might
they
be?
don't attack you. You don't trip on them. You just hope they don't
Yeah.
attack you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you try to stay your distance.
Yeah,
Because they don't have nowhere to go.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes
But that's a technique too. Like, what are you saying to them if you want to
Huh?
share, or like, how do you?
you don't. You just watch 'em.
You just
have
do
to
what you
watch
got to
'em.
do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you keep you
Yeah,
keep your head
watch
on a swivel and you keep your gaze straight ahead.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he won't do nothing to you.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the second if you don't want if you think oh my god that guy's crazy, they'll hear your thought and they'll fucking latch on.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure,
swear
for
to
sure.
They
God,
will not
bro.
hear my thought through my tinfoil hat.
I swear to God, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
So, dude,
Good.
they'll get-
Yolanda's my audience, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to let
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they will, man. But it's crazy though.
Yeah, but I
They-
appreciate the rapport you have with
Yeah.
They
them.
need to
Yeah.
reopen those mental institutions
Yeah.
to house them people because some
Housing,
of them
yeah,
are
service, yeah,
real bad. And then they're subject to so much harm.
yeah,
People just kick them in the butt.
yeah,
Sometimes they give them drugs to see how they're going to react to them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you give somebody that already got a mental problem, you give him some drugs to laugh at him, but he might snap. And
Yeah.
you're the victim.
We had enough of those facilities here.
No, they don't.
Well, they did. We did.
Yeah.
But they were more like prisons and not helping people. And then they ended up, I think it was through the Reagan years, they closed a lot. Like I'm thinking of the Bay Area. There was Agnew's in the middle of the Bay, which was a big mental facility, but they didn't have the knowledge they do today with mental health. So it was more like a prison where they just locked people away and categorized you on how crazy you
Yeah.
were.
They give you
If you were wiping the shit on the walls or if you were just wearing my tinfoil hat.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would put you in.
they give you a violence rating.
Yeah,
They-
and they
give you a violence
basically
rating.
they basically locked you up and put you away and kind of forgot about you. They didn't try to rehab. They didn't try to figure out how can we help the next person that walks into this facility with the same issue.
Yeah.
They literally just tried to protect the public, keep their funding going. And like I said, I think it was the Reagan years where they started closing a lot of these places because they were more of prisons. And so they actually started dumping more money into the Department of Justice system
Yeah.
and building more correctional facilities. And, in my neighborhood, they actually started taking away things like, Castle in Malibu, miniature golf and
Yeah.
arcades and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
started building literally building different facilities, either county jails or whatever.
Yeah.
They took away one of our things just for a county jail.
Yeah.
And I figure if you're going to take away a child's right to be a child, you might as well give him a place to live when he's going to be
Yeah.
like.
Damn, dude.
And so
Damn.
that's horrible.
Yeah, damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. But yeah. So yeah. It's been a good
yeah.
one.
It's been a great time. Thank you to both of you, Yolanda, Adam, and Paul. This is Edge Studios that we're at,
You're gonna come back
by the
though.
way.
You're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are gonna come
And
back. Thank you so much.
we're gonna
for
come back and we're gonna have
part 2.
a one-act play on September 27th.
Yes, we are.
September 20th, the week prior to that, actually, we're going to have another talent show, and, we're hopeful Paul's going to be part of that.
And
Yeah.
the week
Integral part of
before
that.
and the week
And-
before that.
No, there's nothing.
No,
let's
yeah,
not
no,
go
the
there. Let's
Comedy
not go-
Fest.
Oh, yeah.
We're
If you
also
want to do a
going
plug
to
on
be
that.
doing Comedy Day on Sunday, September 15th in Golden Gate Park. So
Bam.
definitely check that out. It's 5 hours of comedy, one stage, 40 comedians, a million laughs, Comedy Day. But definitely check that out. But I'm so excited. So you got, again, the talent show on
September 20th.
right? And then I'm looking forward to the one act play.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We have our writer,
Yes.
and it's working hard on this.
Thank you
And
so
so
much.
thank you, Yolanda, for being a part of this.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Yolanda.
Thanks for all of our dialogue today. This has been great.
Many
See
thanks,
y'all
Kevin.
next time.
Many thanks, Paul. Many thanks, you, the audience.
This has been Street Life Radio, an initiative of Project Golden Gate. Project Golden Gate is a grassroots community-led project that seeks to prevent drug overdose by building awareness and transforming the systemic barriers that perpetuate drug addiction. We will reach the hearts and souls of the general public by demanding respect, empowering ourselves to change the landscape of our community. Please join us. Contact Kevin Liu, Adam Lucero, and Ray Orfiano at projectgoldengate220@gmail.com.